Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I will detail the crazy death of an Asian boy member. On Friday, December 3rd, 1993, an 18-year-old named Kicker went to a pool hall located in the San Gabriel Valley in El Monte, California. The pool hall was a hangout spot for his gang, which he was a part of the Asian Boyz. Kicker carried a gun on him that night and had a history of weapons and violence. Not long after his arrival, around 20 members of another Asian gang called Ching arrived at the hall. Kicker reportedly started mugging them and staring the gang members down and flexing in front of them. He allegedly walked around and flashed his gun on multiple occasions in an effort to intimidate the Ching members. Some of the Chings left, but a number of them stayed behind as Kicker continued to mock them. Kicker was walking around the Ching gang members and he turned his back, and that was a costly mistake. He was then wrestled to the floor by Ching gang members, one who was a 19-year-old, and his name was China Dog. China Dog wrestled Kicker to the floor, and he and several other Ching gang members tried to drag Kicker outside. The Asian boys in the pool hall attempted to help Kicker by attacking them with pool cues. One Asian boy member tried to fire at the Ching gang members with a gun that were resting on a pool table, but the gun jammed. While Kicker was being held down on the floor, his gun was taken by China Dog. At this point, another Ching gang member entered the hall and opened fire with a pistol, sending people inside the hall running and screaming. People inside the hall took cover behind pool tables, while Kicker was being dragged outside. China Dog peered inside the pool hall, and he opened fire at the Asian boy gang members with the same gun that he had stole from Kicker. Kicker managed to break free outside and attempted to tackle China Dog, but failed to do so he ran inside the hall and tried to take cover behind a pool table. China Dog, however, shot at him and followed him inside the hall. Kicker was shot 5 times in his body as he tried to take cover behind a pool table. China Dog then chased after him and fired 2 more shots into Kicker's head as he laid on the floor. China Dog then fled. Kicker died a short time later. Police from the El Monte Police Department was the first to arrive on the scene. The hall still smelled of gunpowder, and it was still silent inside, with people still hiding behind pool tables. They were in shock after the shooting. At the time of the shooting, the hall was filled with around 50 people, some of who were children. 4 hidden surveillance cameras recorded the incident in black and white. The cameras recorded no audio, however. China Dog was identified as the killer because of the videotapes and was captured at a later date.
And the fact that it showed us exactly what happened inside the pool hall.
Sergeant John View works with the LA County Sheriff's Department, which assists El Monte with its homicide cases.
They took him down to the ground and started dragging him towards the front door. The manager of the pool hall ran to the front door to unlock the door to facilitate their leaving. They take Blaymack outside and they take the gun from him. Told us they were hiding in the bathroom when they were ducking behind pool tables and didn't see anything. And when viewing the videotape, you see them, and they obviously saw what happened. But one individual, if you watch the videotape, he's playing pool, he sits down, he's smoking a cigarette on a stool, watching the whole incident until the second shooter comes and starts running in his direction.
An impression on Officer Carroll about Asian gangs.
I wouldn't say they're more violent, but they seem not to be as worried about the consequences of using violence.
Alleged killer Chu Yang is now in jail without bail. Day entered a guilty plea in exchange for 10 years in prison. He is the other pool hall shooter. Yang is scheduled to go to trial on murder charges later this month. But their case still disturbs Asian gang investigators for yet another reason. They believe this murder sparked a chain of at least 10 others senseless killings in the LA area by Asian boys gang members. Asian gang investigator Deputy Bill Howell.
I thought that these types of groups would emerge about 5 years from now. And in reality, they emerged last year. So they are evolving faster than law enforcement can evolve to deal with them. And that's presenting a problem.
Meanwhile, 4 other Ching gang members have already entered negotiated pleas of guilty in connection with the Laymek murder. The charges range from kidnapping and assault with a deadly weapon to accessories after the fact.
The murder of Kicker is a key incident between the Ching and the Asian boys. It caused even more tension between the 2 gangs. Police claimed the murder inspired a chain reaction of gang violence, which led to 10 other murders. Around 6 months later, one of the most notable killings between the gangs happened. The Asian boys carried out a revenge hit by performing a drive-by shooting on the Ching at San Marino High School, which was having a graduation party. This led to the death of 2 young Asians. For his role in the shooting, China Dog was sentenced to life in prison for the murder. He was paroled in 2020, which he has recently been seen doing interviews about the incident. The other shooter was also captured, and he was sentenced to 10 years in jail on the condition that he pled guilty to the crime. This incident happened over 30 years ago, but has been broadcasted and shown for decades, with capturing the death of a young man and another man throwing his life away, both of them facing the outcome of the streets, which is death and prison. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.